Hello and welcome to This Car Pod.
I'm Kennan.
I'm Filippo.
And we've rejoined. We're back here together.
In the office.
Although we were back here together last week when we did a podcast with RJ Scaringe, the founder and chief executive of Rivian.
And Filippo's older brother.
Yeah, apparently we look alike.
I mean, there's a lot of similarities.
There were also comments that he's my younger brother, which is a little rude because I'm notably younger, it turns out.
We did that pod. Go watch it if you haven't yet. But on this pod, we begin with
Wait, can I say one other
the
thing
news
first?
Okay.
Last week, we were all at Monterey Car Week, and a lot of people came up and said hi to Doug, to Kennan, to myself. Thank you for saying hi. And just for, like,
I got more on that later. We'll cover it later. Move on to the news, and the first news story is...
yes, something that was revealed at the Quill. This is the GMA S1LM. This is the Gordon Murray Academy, as you so lovingly call it. Well, they have a subsect of their academy called Gordon Murray Special Vehicles, which is going to be building one-off projects, and that is exactly what this is.
Well, not really.
Now, some people, not exactly, considering they're going to build 5 of them.
It's a 5-off.
It's a 5-off, but there's no word in English. We'll call it a 5-off, I guess.
5-off
but you know, so this car, it's quite special. But underneath, it uses a lot of the stuff from the T50. It uses a larger version of the Cosworth V12. Goes up to 4.3 liters, makes over 690 horsepower. But it has a lot in common with another car that Gordon Murray worked on, and that would be the McLaren F1.
Yeah.
It looks not identical, but dang close.
Modern reinterpretation of McLaren F1. You know, we were in Quail, and there's now a resto mod for everything.
Yeah.
There was a Ferrari 400 resto mod. There was a 928 resto mod. There's those Lancia Stratos resto mods. This is after the success of Icon and Singer, right? Icon with the Land Cruisers, Singer with the Porsche. Everybody's coming to do resto mods.
Yeah.
Gordon Murray Academy, has done a resto mod of his own vehicle.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty impressive. Bold,
Now,
some would say.
they're building 5 of these. They're all being sold to the same individual.
Same individual, allegedly for around $15 million a car.
$15 million a car. So the thinking is that GMA, in order to raise some funds, worked with this guy. He gave him $60 million, and he got some cars out of it, which probably didn't cost anywhere near $60 million to build, since it's largely the same as the T50.
75, I apologize. I did it for 4. My bad.
Wow, Filippo.
I was relying on you.
I know.
Filippo's wife was a math teacher. Something
you buy 4, you throw one in for free.
Throw one in for free.
Right.
The point remains that may be what happened, but regardless, there's now a new McLaren F1 center seat.
Yes, 3 seats, just like the McLaren F1. I mean, it's got a lot in common. Even the script for LM looks a lot like the McLaren F1 LM script. Now, I can't imagine McLaren is too happy about this, that this car looks so similar and was done by the guy who designed it. But nonetheless, it is cool. Some of us feel like this is probably what the T50 should have looked like all along. But nonetheless, it was cool to see it there at the Quail. I liked it, personally.
So it's called the S1.
Yeah,
surprised it's
like
not
the
G1.
Invicta.
S1LM. So if you say it fast enough, F1SM, F1S1, F1S1, F1S1,
S1, F1. How do British people say S? Do they say like Z? Is there something for S?
No.
Like said?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. So we have a new McLaren F1, and we're very excited about the concept of it.
I will say, I saw it revealed, was there, walked by. That was the extent to which I thought about it.
I think it looked cool as hell.
to be honest, I think that's how Filippo viewed most cars at Quail.
I think it looked cool as hell. I'm not a McLaren F1 guy or a McLaren guy or a Gordon Murray guy. My view is GMA, GMC. Well, I don't know.
Good Morning America.
Good Morning America.
Wow.
But
That's the first, that's all I think about.
Same. But this particular car is very, 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 very cool.
It is. I have uneasy feelings about it, but I generally like it.
We were watching T50s drive around there at the Monterey Car Week.
Yeah, we saw someone grind second gear.
Saw a second get grinded. So there you go. Okay, next news story, please. This is a good one.
Important news story of the week.
Who's taking this, Filippo?
Oh, certainly me. Can't not. All right, you're familiar with the Nissan Frontier.
The Frontier, America's favorite pickup truck.
You're familiar with Roush, the tuning company.
Gerald Roush. Yeah, they go out.
What do they do?
They tune Mustangs. They get 700 horsepower out of Mustangs.
Yeah.
You telling me there's a Frontier
There's
tuned by...
a Roush Frontier.
This is the news we're looking for.
Instead of it being called the Pro 4X, as the regular Frontier Pro Edition, Off-Road Edition is, it's a Pro 4X R.
Cool.
Okay.
And you know what it gives you?
What does it give you?
The exact same powertrain.
Big power.
No. It does give you some actual things. It gives you Öhlins suspension components, a 2-inch lift, some external gas reservoirs.
You know what I think?
But no other changes.
I was reading about this earlier. You know what I think? and I'm going to posit this to you, and you can decide what you want to do with it.
Okay.
The reason there's not more power is because Nissan has already extracted every inch of horsepower out of whatever motor powers the Frontier.
Right. It
Some
is-
sort of ancient V6, probably. And I think that it's impossible to improve upon the engineering prowess that they did when designing this powertrain back in 2007.
That heat engine is as tight on its efficiency curve as it can possibly get. Like, great
Gordon
engineers-
Murray, he couldn't. If you let Gordon Murray loose under the hood of this car, even he couldn't get 3 more horsepower out of it.
Hell, I mean, this engine was small. 4 liters went to 4.3. That's easy. That's a layup. This thing.
This is 3.8 liters.
This is a 3.8 liter.
Yeah,
V6.
I can't think of what else it's shared with. Nothing, I think.
What power is the new Frontier have?
The new Frontier has 310 horsepower.
310. That's what I'm telling
now,
you.
you would think.
Rampage.
You
would
can't
think.
get
Here's
more
a
than
naturally
310 horse out of a 3.8 liter V6.
I'm sure Roush was thinking, hey, we often supercharge and turbocharge vehicles. And here's the one that's naturally aspirated. We can't possibly do anything with that.
It would be cool to see a Frontier with a blower on it. And I'm sure many of the audience will remember, there used to be an Xterra with a blower on it from the factory.
Of course.
And it brought the horsepower from 180 to 210.
Hey, think about it this way. That's like 27%. Or 17%, excuse me.
Pretty big jump.
Yeah, and it would have been nice to do something here, like bring this horsepower from 310 to 325.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Well, the Olin stuff sounds kind of legit, but the rest of it seems kind of...
Can you buy this at
Got better.
dealers? Is
You
this
will
like
be able to. So it's not a dealer installed option. It is truly from my understanding, something that Nissan will sell.
But it's something going to be offered by Nissan,
The Pro 4XR,
the Roush version.
Right. Nissan, a company continuing to struggle. This will fix it.
Well, to be fair,
And then they let you put on the blower. Remember when Toyota used to offer TRD superchargers from the
course.
dealer?
Of course.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Maybe they still do.
People did it.
No,
when
no.
I lived in Atlanta, there was a guy on my street who had a third-gen 4Runner, which is truly God's chariot, with a TRD. Hey,
God's
look,
work truck.
That's right. God's two-car garage is a
third-gen
39.5 and a
4.
third-gen 4.
No.
Yeah.
At the Cross Cabriolet, forget about that. It belongs in there too.
Okay, Roush Frontier, obviously the major news story of the week, but we'll move on to some other lesser news stories, like, for example, Volkswagen.
This must
Yeah.
be Filippo,
So-
Volkswagen guy.
Correct. There was a news story out of the UK this week.
The UK.
The UK.
Which part? Wales?
I actually do assume this is a UK-wide situation, but
whole
maybe
part.
The whole...
For
Great
all the
Britain
sales they have.
and Northern Ireland. They're all...
I haven't independently confirmed, but I
right.
think so, yes. They are now in one of their models, in the ID3, I believe, allowing you to pay for extra horsepower every single month
As a subscription.
as a subscription service. So you can buy an ID3. It has 201 horsepower. But
Hot hatch.
But if you pay £16.50 a month, so maybe it is actually just not
Yeah,
the full,
what do they
right.
give you?
They give you an extra 27 horsepower.
Whoa.
For 16 pounds.
Yeah, or you can, which is $165 a year. There's like a discount if you do it
Dude,
yearly.
that's a bargain.
Or 649 pounds for eternity, and it stays with the car.
Okay. I want to say a couple things about this. First off, that's $20 a month. And can you turn off? Like,
Yes.
think about this, okay? You got a month where you're going to go hard. You up the horsepower.
Exactly.
You're going to Donington? Want to increase your power for a little bit? Next month, dial it back down again?
15% more, basically.
I don't
The
like this.
$650 perpetually makes sense. I mean, that's what
it costs
manufacturers
to
have
do, yeah.
always done. You pay more for more
For
power.
a performance package. I don't like this.
I support this fully. Think about how often people buy cars that they don't need. They buy an F-250 because one time a year they go towing. They
you
buy the bigger
think-
engine because sometimes they want performance.
Do you think that at some point Ford will allow you to pay for towing as a subscription?
Yes. The world is our
That's the
oyster.
analogy he made.
I know.
but there-
Right. Didn't we take a lot to connect the...
Okay, you are commuting around your small British town and your 200 horsepower, which, by the way, is 2 times the horsepower that the gas equivalent probably has. The
Yeah.
Polo has 100 horsepower.
Yeah.
You already have 2 times that. You don't really need the extra 27 horsepower. But sometimes you're going to go to that HDPE event. You're going to do some autocross. You want it. You'll pay for that month.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
It's just not that much
but
horsepower
why?
for the money.
Yeah, but it's not
Like-
that much money. It's $20.
I
It's
know.
$20. Would you pay $20 to have what was it, 25 more horsepower?
27, yeah.
In your
425
E305?
horsepower.
Yeah, you would. Don't even think. Come on.
Probably not every month.
Exactly.
Exactly. You could make that choice.
I think I'll do the upgrade and that would be it.
You would do the upgrades on.
Well, that's off.
I just always want the Max.
That's available also. So you could do that if you want.
I will say the general response is what you're saying, which is they could have just offered more power. Yeah, but they could have just offered less power too. And now here's in between.
I think from the subscription services, I'm more irritated that like Toyota does it for heated seats. Like that's kind of
BMW, yeah.
And BMW, yeah, I don't. That's irritating. Like I know that the car can do like that's a comfort feature. I paid for the whole car.
You pay from November to March, and then you don't.
Yeah. Do people could you do that?
I
can't imagine it really allows you to turn it off and on at that with the heated seats.
Can you
at that
imagine
level?
you are like really like fighting for your life driving with somebody else? You're getting carjacked. You want the extra 27 horsepower. Can you like go on the app, request it, and it just happens? Or you're really cold one morning. You want heated seats.
It's just like it gets
just probably it requires an update overnight.
I don't find this objectionable.
I don't like it.
Subscription-based stuff, people find objectionable in cars because we've known for years a car is something that you buy and have. They are offering the ability to do the extra power for a lump sum, which is just normal.
And
cars.
better than what Tesla does with like supercharging and stuff.
It is an interesting thing, especially if you can turn it on and off at you don't think $20 you can just like, oh, yeah, I want more power today.
I just want it all the time.
I'd pay for the package,
and that's what I would do. I don't see the purpose of having it month to month. Like I just would want it all the time. Why would I want less? Like just get the best. I just don't understand that. But
it is interesting. I think that the fear really is that it opens the door to more automakers doing more subscription-based things, charging more money.
That's my problem. I think that's the issue. It's like what else is going to become a subscription service? For you,
single thing.
For you, like maybe having a second mirror. Maybe as a European. Maybe that would be.
If you pay the subscription service, you get a passenger side door mirror.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you don't, the next month they come take it away.
It is an interesting concept that could benefit the consumer, though. Surely it won't because it's being done by greedy corporations.
Yeah.
But when you do think about it, like there are people who wouldn't need a passenger mirror or who wouldn't need some stuff that cars have. Like you get in a car, right, and there's stuff that in our Mercedes-Benz station wagon, we have that Mercedes assist where you say, "Hey, Mercedes," never used it, never will use it.
Right.
If I could have that be a subscription feature, right, and you only pay per month for it,
you just wouldn't. Yeah,
I wouldn't.
The trouble is, I suspect it'll be like the packages will become subscriptions, so they'll put stuff in that you don't.
Yeah,
put one thing in that you actually want. It'll cost a lot when you get a bunch of stuff you don't want.
Maybe.
I hate packaging.
But it is an interesting concept, right? Like in theory, there is stuff like, hey, maybe I don't want a power tailgate. Like I bet he wouldn't. If it was $5 a month to have a power tailgate, I bet you anything.
There's no shot I would pay for any of these.
Yeah.
It becomes a real question. I was driving the Rivian R1S around, and you can buy like a package that gives you access to like a Spotify app and an Apple Music app. I don't think I would.
Well, you can still play Spotify through the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Or you can have the app in the car for
I don't think I would pay for that.
You could see subscription-based features actually becoming beneficial. For all those people who are like, I don't need all this crap. Well, if then maybe you get sold a base car and you subscribe to everything, and then you choose like, I don't want any of this stuff. They will never do that. Automakers will never do that.
Would I pay for adaptive cruise? Yeah, but maybe only if I'm going on a road trip.
Yeah,
I can see certain features like that. But power, like I think it's all the power.
It will be bad for the consumer, but I'm not like intrinsically objecting to it.
Think you have to drop a bunch of money or spend all night in the kitchen to make something amazing? Nope. Every plate is proof. You can have restaurant-level meals without the restaurant bill. The other night, we had the hoisin pork stir-fry with red cabbage and chili, and I swear, if I'd ordered that at a restaurant, it would have been at least $18 a plate easily. But with every plate, it's just a fraction of that. And the portions, let's just say Emily and I didn't leave the table hungry. Here's the deal. You actually spend less on flavor-packed homemade meals than you would on your regular grocery run. And you get out of that boring dinner rotation in 30 minutes or less. The recipes are clear, easy to follow, and they switch up the menu every single week, so you're never stuck wondering what's for dinner. I use Every Plate, and you should too. It's simple, affordable, and it makes cooking at home fun again. So what are you waiting for? Dig into those flavor-packed meals your household will love. New customers can enjoy the special offer of only $1.99 a meal. Go to everyplate.com/podcast and use the code CARS199, that's CARS199 to get started. Applied as a discount on the first box, limited time only.
All right, we got to move on to the next story, which is a fantastic one. This is. Can you talk about this? I haven't read about this, but I'm so excited to hear about it.
So Ford has a CEO. His name is Jim Farley.
Jim Farley.
I like Jim Farley.
I went to high school with his niece and nephew.
He mentions it every time Jim
That
Farley
is a
comes
fact. Probably.
up. That's his flex on
Yep,
us.
that's my flex on it. If Jim Farley, if you listen,
Is that something?
In the Midwest, absolutely.
Everybody in the Midwest went to high school as somebody's niece.
yeah. Also, it might be his like cousin's niece.
All right, keep going.
Jim Farley said in an interview this week, literally 2 days ago, that he is thinking about building a like Dakar competitive vehicle. It's a very expensive off-road, like $300,000 off-road sports vehicle.
Supercar specifically.
Yeah,
is what
an off-road supercar. He said, like, kind of building on the Mustang GTD, something that is like purely focused on the car. He had a quote where he said, "I want to win the car way more than I want to win Formula One."
Well, I think that. I mean,
I
all
don't think
right.
he has an option to win.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Dakar is an incredibly prestigious race, and it's unbelievably difficult to win. A little different than winning a Formula One season as a constructor.
For sure. So maybe this is the better approach.
But I mean, Ford does take part in Dakar already.
They want to go all in.
Dude, if they did
like a 959
version,
a 959.
the problem is it'll be Mustang based.
Yeah,
But if they did a $300,000 off-road supercar, I'm interested. I was interested in Storado, and I'm just as interested in this.
The goal was 1,000 horsepower, partially electric, fully digital or digitally enabled.
It's over. Yawn.
It's interesting. He's basically said, I've been thinking about this, and then alluded to the fact that when he's thinking this deeply about a project, generally it happens.
What a yawn. They were so close.
No, that's not
Make
a
a
yawn at all.
lifted Ford 05 Ford GT.
Can you do me a favor? Can you pull up a Local Motors? That's what else I'm thinking.
Local Motors. You can go to our site. You can go.
Yeah,
to
we've
our
looked
site.
at a few.
We've sold many. Dude,
yeah,
we've sold more. We haven't.
We've sold more.
said,
than
oh, yeah,
I drove
we have.
one.
We sold 3.
That little puppy. I drove that puppy around Big Bear. That puppy.
This is what comes to mind for me for some reason.
Not this one. Yeah, this is a dream, dude. Civic taillights.
Yeah, I think they'd probably do it without the Civic taillights. They'd obviously use Ford Fiesta taillights.
Nice.
To be brand correct. But this is what I'm picturing, just with 1,000 horsepower and
Done a little better would be nice. Dude, it would be so cool.
Yeah,
I would love an off-road. Here's what I want. Here's what I want. I'm going to tell you what I want. Jim
my
Farley's
goodness.
going to build it.
oh my goodness.
05 Ford GT.
Yeah,
Modernized just a little.
digital screens everywhere.
Well,
Yeah,
the
digital
gauges that
screens,
work.
LED lighting.
The gauges at work would be nice. Turn signals at work would be nice.
All that stuff works in my car.
Well, I mean, work is a relative term. I mean, this is straight down at 6 o'clock is empty on the gas gauge, and straight up at 12 o'clock is full. Some would say it's 90 degrees off.
It's a little more complicated than that now.
Also, the the turn signal makes a noise, like not like a beep noise. It's
That's
like
how cars work.
no. It's,
That's a servo. He doesn't know anything about servos.
What servo are you actuating for your taillights? That's
Look, the point is this. All right, 05 Ford GT,
Yeah.
which is the greatest Ford ever built. Okay. Lift it,
yep, like
chunky
7
ties.
inches. Yeah.
Four-wheel drive, bull bar 3, overhead roof lights, like a Storado.
And
but
double
like
the
go
horsepower.
like commit more to it. Like the Storado, as cool as it is, does not have enough ground clearance, does not have good enough tires, does not have enough off-road capability.
Yeah.
Give me an 05 Ford GT with off-road capability. And that is and sell it to me for $300. That's a car that sells for $800 in 10 years.
Jim, you listen?
Probably not. He's probably not listening. Although I got to tell you, both of you, I was absolutely astonished in Monterey at the number of industry people who came up to me and told me to listen to this podcast. Absolutely astonished. And legit people. And so,
So maybe.
thanks for listening. God knows why you are.
For great advice like that.
I do think that this would be legitimately cool.
absolutely. I really hope they build it. I think it would be cool.
I have a suspicion it won't sell. You know, the Storado had a really hard time finding buyers for Storado. I don't think there's actually that much of an interest in this off-road supercar
No, but
thing.
it's cool.
Dakar does okay, the Porsche. However, 20 years, this will be another one of those Fords that becomes valuable in the future.
Do you remember the Mach-E rally? It still exists. I don't know the...
Well, I remember
I've seen one.
there was an intent to make it like a real off-road sporty Mach-E, and then they toned it down and created
Which
the
looks
rally.
cool. It looks cool. I've seen one. I saw it last week. One.
I don't pay attention.
Yeah. Well,
I only look at the Mach-E Premium.
oh, nice.
Okay, give us our next news story, which is the best one of all. Cadillac. Cadillac's come out with something called Curated, named after John Tamarian's business. Lamborghini has the Lamborghini John Tamarian.
Right.
Now Cadillac has the Cadillac Curated.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting in the John Tamarian game. So
Can't blame him.
curated by no, you can't blame him. The man sources cars. Anyway, curated by Cadillac with this blurry picture. They're gonna offer one-off or like paint to sample colors for the CT5V Blackwing, your dream car. And the way it's gonna work is that car apparently costs $100,000 without a special color.
Yep.
For something like $58,000, you can get a special color. He laughed. I'm going to tell you something. The Gulf Blue CT5V Blackwing in 30 years is a 600 car.
Well, that's bold. I think.
I mean, my goodness.
No,
Dude, what's the split window worth? This is the split window of the modern era. Fuel-y split window.
You know what the difference was? The window is split in that one. This one's just a color. So can you do the interior as well, or just the exterior?
They're doing interior stuff too. You can do a lot of stuff.
It's also hand painted, I think.
They did a hand
for some
painted.
reason.
The 20th anniversary version of this car was hand painted, which I think is wild. Like I don't want that.
I think I want that on.
They made only 21
of what?
Of probably a V.
Yeah.
I think.
Because it came out in 04.
Yeah.
And it's 24.
Yeah.
A lot of math today. A lot of basic.
I think this is cool as hell. The price is obviously significant.
tough. I mean,
but it says down here extremely limited availability. They're only going to
limited demand.
Only if that's probably true. It's like the Celestique.
Yeah.
Limited availability, limited demand. Works
It
great.
works.
It's unlike Aston Martin where there's significant availability and limited demand.
Right.
But extremely limited availability. And what's going to happen here is only a few people are going to do this, but those Blackwings are going to be the ones that are going to be preserved like GNXs. Plastic's still on them, and in 50 years, they're going to be selling at auction cars and bids.
Of course.
For real money. I'm serious.
You think the issue is that people get to choose the color.
Yeah.
And they're going to choose, just like Porsche people do, they're going to choose a slightly different shade of black.
That's right. And so
true.
as a result, I think the few that are chosen in really good colors are going to really be worth money.
Maybe. There's a large selection of colors. How much is Porsche paint to sample? Like 12, 20
These
grand?
days, it's like crazy money.
20.
And it depends on whether you choose a heritage color or your own color or a non-heritage color or a slightly heritage color. Or all the Porsche guys know all this
But
crap.
I love the CT5V. Truly. Blackwing. Do I love it at $160,000?
I think that you're missing the point here. I think that this car, I think the CT5V Blackwing, very well preserved, very special ones, the special editions, they will go down in time.
Interesting.
You look at what the CTSV wagons are doing on the used market.
Yep.
I think this car, I truly believe this car 40 years down the line has a very special place in the car enthusiast world.
I agree.
I truly believe that.
Manual ones, like if you do this to it, in general, I think there's a very good shot at it being. It's a modern classic. This is a
this is a modern classic. And people always ask me what modern cars are going to appreciate. I don't know if this one's going to like blow up, appreciate like an F40 did, but this car will be appreciated on the used market. The used market will desire this car. It will never depreciate to nothing. It is a special car, especially with 3 pedals.
Do you think that John Denishon is sad he didn't think about it when he moved Cadillac to Brooklyn?
What happened to him, by the way? I was talking to somebody this week about him. Is he still like around?
Good question.
Johan Denishon. Let me tell you.
Johan.
Let me tell you all a
Close
little
enough.
story about this man. This man, absolute genius at Audi. He shows up and Audi has the following products. I'm not making this up. They have the 80 and the 90, same car. Then they have the 100 and the 200, different cars. He says, I got an idea. Let's call them A4, A6, A8. Absolute brilliance. The Audi brand is turned around. Audi is it is probably the greatest turnaround in modern automotive history. Then they bring him over to Infiniti. You remember this? Mm-hmm. Infiniti says, we're going to do it. We're going to get this guy. And so he renames the entire Infiniti line Q40, Q60. Instead of a turnaround, he does turn around Infiniti. It goes from moderately successful to absolutely awful. So then they bring him to Cadillac.
2 years he was there, yeah.
Then they bring him to Cadillac, and he does the same thing. He renames all the cars. So they had CTS, ATS. He renames them CT4, CT5, CT6, XT5, and Cadillac's doing okay, I guess.
He also moved them to New York City.
Moved to New York City,
and
but
then
they're back in Detroit.
Yeah. He then worked as the chief operating officer for Volkswagen Group North America.
He went back to Audi. They were
was
like,
the president and CEO of ARRI Americas.
let me
which
tell you
does
something. That move to New York was the smartest thing anybody ever did for Cadillac, and they wouldn't let it stick because people in Detroit don't understand why a brand like this maybe should be based in New York.
Let me tell you something else about his LinkedIn currently. He is currently the chairman of the board of the Chattanooga Area Regional Transportation Authority.
Oh,
That's a surprise.
I hope he lives in chat. All right. Is that all our news stories? Because we got
That is
other
all of
stuff
our
to
news
talk
story.
about. We got to talk about a lot of other stuff in the Talk Cars segment.
Yeah.
The Talk Cars segment is brought to you by Black T-shirts.
Oh, I'm wearing one.
Henley.
We all are. Okay, the Talk Cars segment. In this segment, we talk about cars. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, we were at Monterey Car Week. Now, if you went to Monterey Car Week, you'll be excited to hear about this. If you didn't, you're tired of it. You don't want to hear any more talk of Monterey Car Week. But I'm about to give you the definitive wrap.
Oh, wow. My goodness.
This is it.
I want to start by saying the following. I don't even think this is a hot take, but I'm going to say it. The police presence was strong.
Yes.
And from my view, the police pulled over the right people.
I didn't see. I saw very few.
I saw nary an unmodified car get pulled over, and I saw many cars with windshield sticker graphics that they were part of some run, some race, some event get pulled over frequently with on neons doing burnouts
Often for sound.
Now, I drove a lot. I drove my own car there and back. You took the Countach.
Yep.
Filippo drove around in a Rivian.
Yeah.
I didn't have one issue with the
Didn't have a
police.
single
Not
issue with the
one
cops.
issue.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Now, on Instagram, I noticed there were a couple people who crashed their cars.
Oh.
There is a video going around of a GT3 RS doing donuts in an intersection, crashing into a Tacoma.
Yeah.
And there is a video of a Audi R8 that slid into something and
I
crashed.
talked to the guy genuinely moments before that happened. I was pulling out somewhere and he was pointing and he recognized me.
Both of those cars
Crashed.
The GT3 RS was modded with one of those heinous rear wheel. Both of those cars, if you had asked me at the start of Car Week, are these cars going to crash this week? I would have said, yeah. Because the R8 had decals and graphics.
Yeah.
So my point is, I don't know what training they give the police there in Monterey and the California Highway Patrol who participated, but I suspect it's something along the lines of, if it has a windshield banner or yellow headlights or rims or...
Yeah.
That's the one. You stay away from the Countaches or the E39 or the stock car.
You can issue parking tickets to
Right.
but everything else, yeah.
The Carmel by the Sea police pulled over a fair number of heavily modified cars for sound. They would be driving up and down the main street, revving
At full
obnoxiously,
tilt, yeah.
loudly, and that feels appropriate too.
I like the event, and the police presence was significant. I was worried about the whole thing because we've been driving around a lot and we stick out in these cars. But the police clearly focused on that. There was no front plates. I mean, maybe they did use that as a proxy to pull over some of those people, but there was no front plate stuff. There was
Some
no
of those people. Okay.
Some of the M3s with the lowered and the scraping and the carbon fiber accessories.
Cover yourself. They
That's what I mean.
Yeah, they used, in my view, the front plate pullover thing. That's precisely what it's used for. It's a proxy.
But they didn't. But there was none of that stuff going on. Like it was clear they were taught to like target a certain car.
To me, like they were relatively deliberate to only go after, at least what I saw, like infractions that were very clear at that moment and concerning. Sound was the big one in Carmel, surely, that I saw. Much more so than
or just doing dumb stuff. Like there were people, even with all the cops, like there were so many cops, even with all the cops, there were people doing burnouts and donuts in intersections. Insane. I'm like astonished that people are trying to, and then they go on social media and complain about the police presence. So anyway, I think the police did a good job.
I will say, I saw a lot of cars driving around with no plates at all, or just European plates. And
But that's what I mean.
Right,
like the police are like, they're not going to pull over a T50 on British plates.
No.
That's not what they're trying to do.
No, they're trying to keep it safe.
They're trying to keep it safe and keep the residents happy with the noise stuff. But it's a balance because the local businesses, I had an article written about me an article written about Carspotting in which I was quoted in the newspaper in Monterey, and I bumped into the reporter when I was there, and he told me that the businesses in Monterey make 10% of their annual revenue during Car Week.
Yeah.
alone.
So it's kind of a fine line. Like the cops obviously have to restore the order, that the people, especially in Carmel, feel that way, but the businesses are there like, you can't chase all these people away because this is really important to our
So keep it
life.
relatively quiet, keep it relatively safe, and then call that okay.
It's kind of actually probably a difficult fine line for them to walk.
Yeah.
I've been using Delete Me for years now, and I'm still just as grateful for it today as I was the day I signed up. They've been a great supporter of my channel and my privacy. The first time I saw my personal info online, my name, old phone number, addresses, even family details, it was on dozens of sites. As someone who's pretty visible online, I've had to deal with weird stuff, random emails, odd messages, people digging too deeply. That's why I take privacy seriously, and why Delete Delete Me is a core part of how I protect myself and my family. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal information from hundreds of data broker sites. You give them your info once and they go to work, sending personalized reports every few months to show exactly what they've removed. They keep monitoring so it doesn't come right back. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now with a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/DeMuro and use promo code DeMuro at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/DeMuro and enter code DeMuro at checkout. Support this car pod and your privacy. That's joindeleteme.com/DeMuro, code DeMuro. Okay, show us the pictures. We have some pictures. This is me standing next to Signal Yellow. Filippo, do you want to tell us the story?
Doug one time, years ago, saw a Signal Yellow.
This has nothing to do with it. Signal Yellow is the next Carrera GT off the assembly line after my Carrera GT.
Is that the one?
So my Carrera GT, that one.
Yeah.
And then the very next car was Signal Yellow.
I didn't realize that.
Which was built for Mike Valentine, the radar detector guy. And I've never personally seen the car, but there I am standing next to the next one.
Next car.
If you imagine you're in Leipzig, it's 2005, you're on the production line. There's Signal Yellow coming down the line, and there's my car right in front of it.
Yep, wow. The way that goes. Is that real torque? Make sure you mark it off. You know, I don't think they're too concerned. Oh, this one is a garish color. I like silver better.
What's the normal yellow called?
The normal yellow is called Fans Yellow.
Yeah, Fans.
And Signal Yellow is one of one. They only made one Signal Yellow car. And Mike Valentine ordered it new from his Porsche dealer in Northeast Ohio. Kennan and him were personal friends.
Was that Porsche Northumpstead?
I don't remember.
Beechwood, probably.
I don't think Beechwood existed back then. But
they've been around for a long. They've been around since 993, so I would imagine.
But his plaque number is 911, and my plaque number is 543.
Wow,
and I'm going to tell you, Porsche people, something about your little plaque numbers. Rich people can deviate them. Okay, so this was not the 911th car; it was the 544th car. But rich people can choose their own plaque numbers, and I did that job once. Anyway, so there you go.
What number did you choose for what car for who?
Oh, rich people would all the time request. For 918, we were so desperate to sell them, we gave plaque number. Anybody who wanted any plaque number was like, done. We didn't duplicate them, I assume. For the right money, maybe they would have. But the plaque numbers are not actually in order on any of the cars. Okay, move on to the next picture. There's me and my personal hero.
Yeah, Harry.
I met Harry Metcalf, the greatest automotive YouTuber.
Wow.
Yep.
I've never seen a Harry Metcalf video.
What? Are you serious?
100%.
No, you're
I watch less YouTube content than you might expect.
No, dude, I don't watch YouTube, but I watch Harry.
He also has a farm channel. You can learn about farming. But he goes to Europe and he drives around. I mean,
I go to Europe and I drive around. Okay.
Yeah, you don't do it in a Countach or a Testarossa. He does.
I don't really
he brought an outboard motor back from his boat in Antibes in a Countach or in a Testarossa in wintertime.
I get a message from Harry a month ago, right?
He's the best.
And he sends me a message on Insta. He says, hey, Doug, are you going to be at Monterey? Like, I'm going to be there. I'm like, oh my God. I'm not even making a joke here. Like, I literally think that Harry is like the most legit dude because he makes a YouTube channel. He doesn't really need to, I don't think, financially. He just kind of does it. Just for the fun of it. And it actually ends up being a great YouTube channel because he has so much knowledge of the industry from his many years, Evo Magazine and working for car makers and working in the industry in general. I'm so excited. He sends me this message. Hey, I'm going to be here. Will you be here? I'm like, oh my God, of course. But, you know, and I happened to bump into him before Quail started. So it was just kind of me and him for a second. Then Ed Bolian walked up and Ed's got a picture of the three of us. But then the real highlight with Harry is we're standing downtown Monterey and Carmel, they arrest people for like looking at people wrong. In Monterey, you could do burnouts all day long. Like this is a picture of my car, but go back to Harry. We want to look at Harry. We could do burnouts all day long in Monterey. Mm-hmm. And it was like accepted and condoned. And who do we see? And it's like 22-year-old kids yelling, rev it, as people are driving by. And who do we see walking down the street?
Harry Metcalf and his wife. And they just, I admittedly, I didn't get to meet him. It was the wrong time because I didn't want to be associated with all the revving going on. but He was there. And I assumed he and his wife were just walking through, but no, they stood there for probably 20 minutes.
They watched all the
scene.
Camaros and stuff revving. Harry's killing it.
Because it just doesn't. I can't imagine that happens in the UK that often. That you get to experience something that insane. It was very American.
So Harry is a personal hero of mine, and I got to meet him.
That's so nice.
Yeah. Okay. Give us our next picture here.
It was a Countach.
What do you think?
Evo.
Can I tell you something at this picture? This was in a parking lot.
Yeah, at the Quail. Yeah.
This isn't some picture I took. Okay. This was in a parking lot.
Who took the picture?
You're missing the point, Filippo.
Yeah, okay. The Quail parking lot, first of all, doesn't count.
You could walk into a parking lot.
It's a Quail, which is actually a golf course.
And see a Pajero Evo and a
I know, what a photo.
no wing Countach.
What a photo. Love this photo. And then a fourth gen in the background.
Yeah, nice fortune. There you go.
What a photo.
The parking lots in general, in and around the events are amazing themselves, but the parking lots are just as crazy most of the time. You see wild stuff.
I was walking around Carmel the first evening I was there and just parked in like a alley next to a restaurant. Like you walk around the corner, there's a tree. Then you walk past it and there's a Utopia.
Yep.
Just parked there.
Well,
it's not a spot.
You have a video that's on the Cars Biz
I
channel right now that talks about like how to do it for free, and that's one of the best things. Just walking
There's
in and
cars
seeing
everywhere.
The best thing about the week is free. And go to the next picture, because this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. I brought up to Monterey Car Week my Lamborghini, my old Lamborghini. It's behind us now. And
my old Lamborghini.
And that's what I tell people.
It's there.
And I brought it up there, and I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't driven it in 3 months.
That's so true. Wow.
And so it's been sitting in this garage for 3 months, and I had no idea what to expect. But it was being shown at the Quail motorsports gathering.
Of course.
And so I brought it up there, and it was amazing to drive it around. And I'm going to post. I had a post coming. I'm waiting on some photos, but I don't know. I want to talk about how special it was. So wonderful. The last time I was in Monterey for Car Week was many years ago, almost a decade ago, and at that time I was one of the Car Spotter kids. And with a digital camera, like a physical digital camera, and like walking around, driving around with this car and seeing the response of all the Car Spotter kids to this was so cool. It was truly one of the certainly aside from hanging out with you guys all week, it was the highlight of my week. Driving this car and like being one of the people that the car, like I would have flipped if I was a Car Spotter kid back then, seeing a Countach drive around. And so I was made sure to park it like very conspicuously in Carmel and in Monterey so that like you could see it on the street, you know. And it was a really cool experience being able to drive with this car and all the other crazy cars around with it.
And well, which I can understand, like being in the car and seeing, or being behind it and seeing people's reaction to it, especially when this and our friend Crazy Nick was driving his Mercy around was outstanding. Yeah, and I have to say the Countach did really well.
200 miles, didn't have a single issue. It continues to be a reliable car.
Did it start up every time?
Pretty good.
After sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic for an enormous amount of time, there were a couple issues where the starter wouldn't crank because we think the starter motor got too hot. But I let it sit for 5 more minutes and it started right up. Like I didn't get stranded. I didn't have any issues. We just let it cool down a little bit.
At the end of the day, it is a 42-year-old.
That only happened twice. And I bet you that's like ongoing. I bet that's always been an issue. I just don't know because I don't drive it like that. Like we sat, as much as I did enjoy driving it around, there were 3 times or 4 times where I sat in heavy bumper-to-bumper traffic in it. And that is not as fun.
No.
You don't say.
Although you could be in front of an F50.
Yeah, there were times.
Yes. Well, speaking of which, yes, F50 was the theme. Quail was honoring the F50. It turned 30 just like me this year. And so there were a lot of them. I think 17 in total, something like that.
I saw 19 F50s.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Took the Vince.
But you count the auction cars, that's what it is.
I'm counting the auction cars.
Okay, yes, but just seeing them around, like here I am behind a straight piped one, which is probably, other than hanging out with you guys, my favorite experience of Car Week. I was behind this straight pipe one leaving the Quail, and we finally turned down on the main road, and he just laid into it. And to hear that sound, like be behind it for 3 gear changes at full throttle was crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, you just never know like what special stuff, there's a picture of you never know what special stuff you're going to run into. And that was like
the best part about this week, and I still feel this way after having gone now, it's been 10 years since I went and now I went back, is the random stuff you see cruising around.
Yeah.
It is so cool. And I truly believe, I know you posted this video about what to do if you don't want to spend money up there, but the very best thing to do, if you're a Car Spotter kid and you just want to see cars, get a chair and post up on Route 1 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Just hang out.
Everybody eventually does a drive down the coast. And I did it. I did 2 of them. And I saw a dark blue Enzo cruising. We saw Chiron, F50, Wyra, other Chiron.
MC12.
Multiple
sizes.
MC12s just cruising down Highway 1. If you just post up on Highway 1, you got to go early because the real people, especially want to get the photos, go out really early. You will see every single cool car. Just
agreed.
sit with a folding chair on Highway 1.
The best day of the week to do it is for the Tour d'Elegance, where the cars that are going to be in the actual show
Which is
itself,
Thursday.
which is on Thursday. They get extra points for going and actually driving the car on this event.
Yeah.
And so to do that and then to see the modern stuff and the veer is just
So
spectacular.
special.
There's nothing else like it. But
Even on Saturday afternoon, I sat out on Highway 1 I was like eating lunch and I just figured I would go out there. And even that Saturday afternoon, there were insane cars driving by.
It was just insane.
Constantly.
I mean, there was just
Many
no
40Gs.
end to the crazy stuff. At one point, we're sitting there in a Gumpert Apollo and a CLK DTM drive by. I don't think I saw those cars the rest of the week, but they were there in some capacity.
what a combination. Gumpert Apollo I'd never seen before in my whole life, so that was special for me.
I got a picture of you taking a picture of a Gumpert Apollo with my Countach in the background.
Whoa.
It's really hardcore.
It's like a fever dream.
It is.
It's the only way to describe
Car
it.
Week is like a fever dream, and by the end of it,
Yeah. You're hoping that fever breaks, to be honest with you. You're just like, it's like constantly eating really rich food. You're just like, I just want something simple. Just give me chicken and rice.
Right.
Yeah, it was a lot.
That's a lot.
It's especially a lot for me. A lot of people come up to me. It was a lot. But we had a good time.
Yep.
We had a good time.
Last thing I want to say about Monterey Car Week, just a personal note for myself. The Mighty M5 broke 250,000 miles on the drive up to Monterey, 250,000 miles. I know I get made fun of a lot, but for how much I've spent on it. But they're just very few, almost 25-year-old cars. You can turn the key. 250,000 miles. I drove up, back, not one issue, not one dash warning light, nothing. Flawless. Car is absolutely flawless.
250,000
Applause.
miles.
250,000 miles.
And you did. It must have been about 1,200 miles.
Yeah, I think I crossed 2,050, 1,000 miles like moments after returning. So it was a lot.
Wow.
It was a lot of miles. But it was
How many
great.
miles did you do total?
It was like 1,700, I think, or something like that.
You know, Nick's car threw a CEL for being overheated,
Well,
and
what a-
Countach handled it. Something to think about.
The Countach may not have a check.
beautiful, the servicing of George Evans, you know?
It was cool to see all the other Countaches. I pulled up Wednesday afternoon, having not seen a sports car in 3 months.
Oh, you really did dive into the deep end, huh?
Yeah. And I pulled up and I parked in Carmel, and another Countach was right next to me. And I'm like, damn, okay. Here's what we're doing.
Welcome to Car Week.
Let's start. I thought I was pretty good about finding deals. Then I started using Upside, and now I realized that I was leaving money on the table every single day. Gas, groceries, eating out. Upside gives you cash back on all of it. It's stupid simple. Download the free app, claim your offer, pay as usual, and get paid. There are over 100,000 locations on Upside, so no matter where I am, I can open the app and find a spot nearby to earn. I've paid for an entire weekend of dining out just with the cash back I've racked up over a few months. You can earn an average of 8% back on groceries and restaurants, and the best part, you can stack it on top of your existing credit or debit rewards. That's why Upside users are earning hundreds a year, and why it's sitting at 4.8 stars on the App Store. You can download the free Upside app and use promo code CARS to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code CARS.
Okay, we got to move on. Filippo drove a Rivian R1S.
Yes, I drove a Rivian R1S quad motor up to the Quail. I took Car Week in general and then drove it back home. I did 1,400 miles in it, which is, given the car had 500 miles when I got it,
Yeah.
felt like a lot.
Right.
It's exceptional.
Yeah.
You're going to get it
Right.
as a press car in a couple months once they release Rad Tuner, which makes it very customizable, and the tank turn thing to do a full review. But it's such a good vehicle.
Yeah.
Neither of you rode with me.
No.
But 1,025 horsepower and 1,200 pound-feet of torque is a
Listen.
lot.
You heard this website called Cars and Bids?
Yeah.
You know, you could consider
I could buy one.
getting one.
I will say a couple of, legitimately the interior might be my favorite new regular car interior. Mine, the one that I had, and all their R1S quad motor press cars are like a beautiful blue wood, like a light brown natural wood, and it is stunningly pretty. The interior is gorgeous. The cars, I'm going to give the 1 minute summary of my review here. A little more truck-like than you expect. The ride is not Range Rover quality.
Yep.
But it is pretty good.
Nor is the
nonetheless.
interior.
No, but the interior stylistically matches more my style, and so I'm okay with materials being a little bit worse. And I don't think they're bad, to be clear. Just like a little bit, not
but
quite
it's
Range Rover.
surprising to hear someone, it's the nicest interior. Like this is the nicest interior. Like, it's nice.
With the natural
interior.
wood and the light blue leather, it's truly gorgeous.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Nicely finished all around. Performance, insane. Of
course.
You can scare every single passenger. I waited till they weren't expecting it, till they were like looking at their phones, but it's a pleasurable experience. And then it's otherwise it's like normal car. 2.5 seconds 0 to 60 time is probably 4 seconds faster than that M5 at this point.
Yep.
So driver assistance, good, but they only allow adaptive. You would hate this. Adaptive cruise, great, and it's there's eye tracking or just steering wheel touch, but only on mapped highways. And when you're not on a mapped highway,
Well, what's wrong with that? They got the 5 mapped?
There's a lot of
If
roads.
they got the 5, the 405, and the 73 mapped, I'm all good.
They do, but there's a lot of roads on the way to Carmel that are highways but not mapped, and so it's just adaptive cruise without lane keep or without lane centering, and that just feels a little silly. Like every Corolla at this point, every new
If
GTI
they're doing
has that.
eye tracking or touch, they
should be able
shouldn't
to
need
offer it.
they shouldn't need it only on mapped roads.
Right, agreed.
The reason that Cadillac, curated by Cadillac,
Right. I don't
makes
think
it
it's
on
available
mapped roads
on
only is that
but-
the car drives itself
Right.
on those roads.
Right. So I was a little surprised by that. $122,000 MSRP feels lofty, but also kind of understandable for a car that does fundamentally everything. It can do insane off-roading. It can do 2.5 seconds 0 to 60.
Totally.
Carry your family.
Totally. What's a full size cost?
A full-size Range Rover is notably more than that.
160.
Yeah.
Damn.
And also, by the way, I did look this up. I was comparing it for myself to a V8 Defender, because the Defender is only a couple inches shorter than an R1S with the spare tire included. It gets about it has half the horsepower for about the same cost. So you're in like the same ballpark there.
Now I understand it's not a new one.
There's a reason they're so popular. All my
They're
neighbors
great.
have them.
They're great.
Yeah.
You consider getting a used one, Filippo? I mean, because I understand you're not going to pay $122,000 for a new car, but like
It made it
65.
much more
I mean,
desirable.
Come on.
100%. It made it much more desirable. I don't spend money on cars, but it made it much more desirable for sure. 2026 is what you want though, because it now has the NACS port for the Tesla Supercharger. That's all I used the entire trip. It was fantastic. So 2026 is when that's standard instead of an adapter. But it did make me reconsider my stance on EVs generally. I didn't think that an EV would fit my life. We'd take a lot of road trips. We'd travel a lot. This was relatively painless. You stop for longer. Like instead of stopping to just get gas and like maybe use the restroom, you stop and you get coffee. But after 20 minutes, you've had enough range to get you to a good distance.
Yeah.
So all in all, better electric experience than I expected, and I like the R1S a lot more than I thought it would.
I think it's one of the great all-round vehicles ever to exist.
Yeah.
Take that.
Yep. I
Got me.
legitimately agree with that. I'm going to post a post on Cars Limit's community that's a much more intensive review. I wrote it last night, and it's 1,200 words accidentally, so we cut that down a little bit.
How beautiful.
And I have a lot of
into a journalist.
How beautiful.
I'm just trying to copy Doug.
How beautiful.
Damn.
Use as many a hyphen, the M dashes.
I'm glad that you enjoyed the R1S experience. I think it's really cool. And I think that I'm very excited to check out the new one myself.
Yeah, I'm
and
excited for you too.
I really do think it's like one of the best all-round vehicles. Couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Truly.
Okay, we got to talk market report. Market report. And the market report is brought to you by
Green
Cars and
glasses.
bids.
Cars and Bids.
That's right.
You want cars? You want bids? You go to carsandbids.com and you'll find both.
Whoa.
Okay. The first thing I want to talk about with the market report is the E61. You want to pull it up? Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about this before.
No, because it was in last week.
Yeah, this
Pull
is
this
a
up.
crazy. Yeah.
All right, so somebody built an E61 M5 Touring build. They took an E61 5 Series, the 5 Series, the E60 wagon,
Series wagon.
5 Series, and they made it a full E61 M5 build. Kennan and I saw it in person.
Yes, not only that. When you say a full build, you're not kidding.
No.
It's also a manual transmission one. They did the
Oh yeah,
conventional,
sorry.
which is important.
It is important.
But in addition to having the M5 powertrain, it had everything, and I mean everything. The guy gave this car every option except for two. He couldn't get adaptive cruise to work, and he couldn't get I think it was the adjusting seats to work. But everything else, it works on this car. And he was so detailed. He even got the styrofoam that like holds in the M Mobility kit, which is like if you get a flat tire, which took him 3 months to track that down because it's no longer available from BMW. But it was a really nice build. He showed me pictures of him laying out the wiring harnesses to build everything. I mean, the guy went the full distance, and this car got all the money. It's $79,999.
80 G's.
grand.
80 G's for a 535i X-Drive, according to your local DMV.
Right, exactly. Now the thing is, of course, the E61 M5 will eventually become legal to import to the U.S., but not for a really long time. You still have to wait a pretty good amount of time. So if you wanted to skip the line and have
regardless, there was never a manual one.
You have to do the manual. You have to send a D39, so it's do the manual conversion anyway. But
it is an amazing build. I've always wondered if this could be done.
Not easy.
It can.
I assumed it really couldn't be done because the E61 M5 was so different from a body perspective than the regular 5 Series. I mean, there's a lot of body work that has to go into these cars in order to change them. Obviously the wheels, but the fender was different, and the front, like I don't know how many panels are shared, but I bet it's not all that many.
Well, he said getting this one is the hardest. Getting the rear bumper now is like basically impossible.
For a wagon.
Yeah, really hard to get that.
I mean, unbelievable build, and it pulls 80 grand. As we've said so many times, a really good build brings all the money. Not just an engine swap, but if you do like a really good build, especially like enthusiast bell ringing, the wagon, the manual. V10. I've talked many times about getting an E61 M5, which I won't do.
Why not?
Because I've scared him away.
He scared me away.
Wow.
It's a hard car. It's a really difficult car to live with. And compared to the cars that he has that require a lot of effort already, he determined not worth it.
I'm not going to put you Sequoia. I got to take that into the dealer.
The worst.
I got to take that into the dealer for service now.
Imagine if you took this into the dealer.
I'm busy.
It's far.
Do they do anything for that?
Yeah, they do. They have solutions.
But do they will they come and grab that for me? Or?
You would have to ask Toyota, but probably.
You think so?
Genesis used to. They give you an iPad, and then you went on the iPad, and
the
they came to pick it up.
brands are different. This is the problem with getting a Toyota.
Right.
Okay. This is incredible.
Yeah.
And
80 grand's all the money. It
on
feels
the
like
enthusiast bend, let's talk about the E63. Because I think that this also proves another point, which is that even though there's not a large market for these cars, an E61 M5 Touring, or in this case, a Gulf Blue E63 wagon, there is a market that's big enough that they can get real money. So this car we sold for $135,000. This is a factory Gulf Blue AMG E63
Surely
wagon.
the only one.
The owner of this car, who I'm in contact with on Instagram, he replaced it with a...
What do you think?
Okay, what do you think?
Okay.
What do you think? What does someone who has one of these replace it with?
I feel like if you like wagons, you end up replacing it with an RS6 Avant.
Storado.
Genuinely?
Yeah, he replaced it with a Storado.
Well, that's cool.
But he sold this.
Did the kids graduate or something?
He barely drove this. I mean, it only has like 6,600 miles on it or something, which I think was... it's a tough call, right, with a car like this, because it's probably a one-of-one color or maybe one of 2 or 3. You can't really use it. Like you got to kind of be careful, because this is the car's specialness is in its like preservation. So if you want to have one, you just buy a white one and just use the hell out of it.
What's stunning to me is we sold the same car in 2021.
What did we sell it for?
We sold it for $125,000.
Wow.
We had 3,000 miles at the time. At that point, it was newer. There wasn't yet the run up in E63 values, or maybe there had just been a facelift. Was 21 the facelift year? I mean, it's like clearly, I thought at the time, this is the moment to sell. This is the closest you're ever going to get to MSRP on this. There's still demand.
What was MSRP?
150, I think.
Wow.
158.
Car is so cool.
But like now it's just appreciating. And I think it'll continue to.
The automakers are right that there's not a huge interest in wagons that cost this much money that are,
No, they're wrong.
But there's a very small sliver of people who really are willing to spend the money.
Pay.
Like the 25th anniversary RS6s, those blue ones, those brought tons of money new. They still do. So do the new GTs, the orange and black. So does this car. So does that M5 wagon we were just talking about. Like there is a sliver of people who just want the coolest wagon, and this is that. And I bet you this sits in the garage for the rest of its life next to other supercars. Whoever owns it next, like this is the car you have if you have quite a fleet and you want to kind of a really, really cool daily.
And I do think automakers are realizing that. I mean, they see the E63 wagon selling equal to the sedan, right?
Well, the wagon outsells the sedan. I guess my point is less about the wagon in general and more about like this special color and like people willing to pay just like elevated money, like for that E61 M5. There are people out there who will do it.
The same people that are buying those are the people that are willing to spend real money on paint a sample for a specific color 911, or maybe if Cadillac is very, very, very lucky, curated by Cadillac.
Very limited availability.
Pull up the Gallardo, please. You see this Gallardo sale?
Of course.
Yeah, this is what a bargain.
Gallardos?
I feel like it's
sold for what, 95?
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a great value for what it is.
Gallardos are such bargains.
Yeah, such a bargain. 18,000 miles and an 08. The first generation Gallardos, the later cars got some improvements over the early ones. The early ones are known for being a little fragile. Not the case so much with the 08s. But this
is
still
had
5.2
or a 5.0?
This is a 5.0. So it still had the even firing order. So it's got that whoop sound that is just like incredible. And look at it.
I'd put the Cassiopeias on it, even though these may have been OE wheels.
These are OE wheels, I believe. Cassiopeias are my preference as well. But I still think for the money, you get such an exotic car, a tremendous driving experience.
95, and then you sell it 5 years later for 95. They don't seem like they're coming down anymore.
No, nor do they seem that unreliable.
The Gallardo especially the early Gallardo, just looks to me so exotic.
I know, and
it's not necessarily beautiful, but it's so exotic. It has this like real exotic car presence to it that for some reason a Huracan doesn't quite have as much. It's starting to look, I hate to say it, it's dating, but it's starting to look like a vintage Lambo. Like it's starting to look like an old school.
Really? Please point to the ways in which it looks like an old school vintage Lambo.
It's getting some of the old look to it. Like the newer cars they clearly are newer. This one is getting left behind in terms of its design, but that's kind of a cool thing. Like it is starting to look like an old Lamborghini. This car only came out 2 years after the Diablo went out of production.
I'm stunned at how much I like these cars. We had that silver one in the office for a little while that you did a video with, and I went and drove that.
A nice early Gallardo is a really special car. I will say the number of nice early Gallardos left is about 4. This looks like one of them.
Yeah. Limited, very limited availability.
But they got cheap. They were automatics. They fell into the wrong hands. It's honestly not unlike Countach. They fell into the wrong hands, and people have done heinous stuff to early Gallardos. And they got mild, they got hit, they got all this other stuff, heavily modified.
Yeah, that's true. But again, this is not an outlier.
Look at this. 78.5 for that one.
Yeah.
With the chrome Cassiopeias. Look at that one.
Yeah, this was like one of the nice, it's so well preserved.
I would only want yellow with Cassiopeias, but this is a cool looking car. You don't think, click on that again, you don't think that looks like an old Lambo, Filippo, when you look at this? Like, this is not a modern car anymore. It's like clearly starting to age. It's blockier, it's boxier.
21 years ago, Filippo.
Can I get clear? Do you mean it looks similar to older Lamborghinis?
No, it
looks like an old Lamborghini.
It itself is starting to age into a point where pretty soon we're going to be talking about this as an old school Lambo. People already say that about Mercedes, and it's the same era.
Gallardo was what, 04 to 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something to think about, but I really love those cars. I'd love to have one at some stage. I just think that in like, yellow's a bit much for me, admittedly, but silver or something.
I like the pre-LP cars.
God, and the Superleggera is so cool.
Yeah, man, even the nicest one, it was 2 years ago, but...
Well, they're a tremendous bargain, especially compared to Scuderias.
Gallardo Superleggers. Lambos in general, dude. Let's all buy Lambos.
I'm good. There's the quote of the day.
Well, you don't want a Lambo?
I've literally never coveted a Lambo.
Really? Not even a Urraco?
No.
Wow.
This car, what annoys me about you,
I'll know 2 maybe.
This car is the best your country has ever done.
Wow.
We'll call it Ferrari, but like your country.
Have you heard of the Fiat Panda 4x4?
Italy is known for its prowess in creating these emotional, special, eye-catching, head-turning, loud
like
vehicles.
the Aspark Owl.
That's Japan.
No, it's made in Italy.
You're missing the point. You don't have any country pride. You don't think about Ferruccio. You don't think about Modena.
No.
You don't think about Enzo.
Well, you got to think about Enzo.
How
can you not?
That's true, you do.
You don't sit back at any point and say to yourself, I love Italy. I wave the flag. Il Commendatore.
You misunderstand me so fundamentally as a human. No, I've never been super into Gallardos.
Gallardos, but you've never been super into any Lambo at any point, not even a Spada, the hatchback?
I mean, the Spada's cool, but I'm not super into any of them.
Jeez.
The Spada's cool.
You don't have any pride for what your country has given the world? When you ask people about Italian products,
You got to assume the Ferrari and Lamborghini.
They think about food and they think about cars, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it, right? Or maybe art from decades ago, like the 1400s.
Like that's
Who doesn't, man?
Oh God, Filippo's got nothing for us.
It's a lost cause.
Filippo, interestingly, is interested in the GT4. Pull up the GT4, then we'll go on to the questions.
I do want to talk about the GT4.
Filippo's more German than Italian. Most Germans I met hated Italian
Maybe
cars.
he's Swiss in the end. At the end,
maybe
it's that cross section.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, quick story. Last month, I got a text saying I'd won some random sweepstakes I'd never entered. All they needed was my bank info. Yeah, nice try. Scams are everywhere, and that's why I like knowing my money is locked down with Cash App. When it comes to your money, you deserve to feel safe from fraud and to feel in control. And that's exactly what you can expect with Cash App. When you get the Cash App card, you also get perks like exclusive early access to nationwide concert pre-sales and discounts on popular brands. And if something suspicious pops up, Cash App will automatically decline the purchase. They'll send you a heads up to confirm if it's you, and you can then instantly lock or unlock your card from your phone with just one tap. Plus, there's 24/7 fraud monitoring watching your back. You can spend, save, and live your life knowing your money's right where you left it, with advanced built-in security, protections you can count on, and help when you need it. You can order your Cash App card in the app or at cash.app/card. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real. Just download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code CARPOD in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Instant discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Click on that 2016 GT4. I don't understand the GT4 market. Here's a car with 30,000 miles. 30,000 miles, right? Has some modifications. Easily removable modifications, with some modifications.
Yeah.
Has 30,000 miles. Sold for 108,500.
Yeah.
MSRP was less than that.
Dude, it's a PTS car. You didn't tell us this either.
Like,
it's a PTS car with carbon buckets.
It's a 9-year-old GT4. Are they all still over MSRP after 30,000 miles?
No, they are not all. But this is a paint-to-sample car with carbon buckets.
Great. That's what it is kind of for in the MSRP.
And
MSRP is higher.
It just shows you don't
It's
understand
gray
Porsche.
black.
Yeah,
It's
but-
literally paint-to-sample gray black.
Well, that I agree with you.
I agree.
It is
I just don't
insane to
understand.
me that Porsche people are willing to pay big money for a paint to sample in the same color that you could just order.
I just don't get
But
why.
Filippo, I mean-
why would you spend an extra 13 grand compared to a car that has half
Because it
the
has
miles?
carbon buckets and it's paint to sample. Let me explain to you something about the Porsche world. Okay, I'm just going to tell you this, and I want you to understand it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a Porsche person myself, but I've spent a lot of time
And
around
you
these
own one.
people. Yeah, but I own the one that it proves like that car's no options. None of them did. Like those cars were built for people who wanted to drive and wanted an emotional experience. These cars are built for people who want to talk about what options they have.
Right.
And I want to be really clear about this. This is how Porsche people operate. I'm going to give you the fundamental secret of Porsche people. The
Please.
cars are all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And so the only real
They're
way...
great.
They're great. But they're all pretty much the same. And so the only way to distinguish between the cars is talking about stuff like carbon bucket seats and colors and things like that. And special stitching and special this and special that. And so like, whereas in the Ferrari world, like the difference between an F50 and a 488 and a 430, these are massive differences. The 911 world, the mid-engine world, the differences are made up in these little tiny things that kind of only the people know about when they go to the event.
And there are really only two ways then to differentiate your cars. Either to order these options from the factory or to modify it. Now, most Porsche people are intelligent, want to retain value of their car, and so they don't modify them. They tend to order the stuff from the factory. And so that's why, like, PTS and buckets, like, that's, you can, there's like 4 things you can say about this car that are like, that, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like,
paint to sample gray black.
yeah,
One.
PTS,
30,000
buckets.
miles. I just don't. It should not be over MSRP.
I totally disagree.
The-
I think
the
that
market
the
disagrees
market
with
The market
decides.
disagrees with me,
The
clearly.
market
No,
decides.
I agree with- no, I agree
And
with that,
also, the other thing that's important to keep in mind about these cars, because go back to that GT4 landing page that you had up, even beyond, like this is a non-paint
They
sample
obviously
car.
retain their value well.
They
but-
retain their value. They're special. Why? Even though I'm not a Porsche guy, a 981 GT4 is a really damn good car.
Excellent.
There
sports
are very few cars I have ever driven in my entire life that drive as well as a 981 GT4.
Yeah.
And so they retain their value because they're just
They deserve to.
damn good cars.
I mean,
and they
that's a
didn't make that
compelling
many of them.
answer.
And they're going to come out with an electric one soon.
Well, That's also why the values are holding strong.
Go back to the top. The one with 95,000 miles.
Ish.
Sorry, the one that sold for $95,500 had half the miles, had a 101 sticker.
Yeah, it's going to
so
be
that
on
sold a little bit
sofas.
below
No,
MSRP.
it's
Scroll down.
let's see. So we got, let's take a look, just the options.
You have the carbon fiber interior, the full
What's the
bucket
mileage?
seat.
I want to look at the listing myself. What's the mileage?
14.7.
It's not PTS, dude. What did it sell for?
95.
95.
So $5,000 below MSRP. The other one
it's
sold,
10
had twice the miles and sold for over MSRP.
It's only 10 back at the other car, and the other car is PTS, which is 10 grand. Gray black, dude.
But
It's
compared to
special.
MSRP.
You're going to go to Porsche events and be like, this isn't just black, it's gray black, it's PTS, gray black, I have PTS.
And you get some license plate that incorporates
Yeah.
PTS into.
Totally. PTS GT4.
Right.
All right. And somebody out there with that plate's going to be like, he's making fun of me. Yes, I am. Okay, we need to move on to questions. Now, questions come to us from our viewers. You can ask us a question. You go to carsandbids.com. That's the sponsor of the podcast. You go to carsandbids.com, you click on the community tab, and there will be a post there that says, ask us questions. Then you can ask us questions. Okay. First question comes from One Luis. It looks like Luis, but with a one.
Ooh.
Why do you not have Saturday auctions? He says Saturday auctions for special cars, but there's a question generally. Why do you not have Saturday auctions? Filippo does something with the operations of the company. Filippo, explain to us why we don't have Saturday auctions. Is that what his title is?
I think Director of Operations.
Head of operations, yeah.
Damn. He is killing it.
It turns out outside of our content, I sometimes have a job. In the future, we may have Saturday auctions. There are two big reasons. I have some concerns about weekends, frankly.
Damn, what are your concerns about weekends? Like
I need to do a more thorough review now that there's more data.
Filippo is so serious that he is concerned about weekends.
Concerned about
We do not work.
Leisure.
I need to do a little bit more research on the data trends, because early on, when some of our competitors started to do weekend auctions, there's a general understanding that those underperformed. People are a little bit more maybe away from their phones, away from their computers on weekends, maybe not as available to bid. We also, there may be a time when we decide we are hosting enough auctions that to draw enough attention to each of them. This is very behind the scenes, but attention to each of them, we will want to do weekend auctions too. And we will do that once that's necessary and once we're confident that we can ensure that like there's enough people in the room, that there's enough demand, that the weekend auctions are additive rather than detracting from the other auction experience. So
Plus,
maybe
there's also a personnel issue component to it. You know, if you're going to run weekend auctions, like we have to have people who are kind of hanging out there watching the auctions.
And we do already have weekend employees. If you're a seller on Cars and Bids, you'll get support on the weekend too. If you bought a
but
car,
it requires
you'll get
even more of it, and so we just don't. I don't think we're ready for it.
It's not necessary yet.
And I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not necessary yet. Okay, next question from Mighty Must. Can you go back to the questions tab? The questions. Yeah, click on that. From Mighty Must, Doug, can you explain this license plate? I've lived in Maryland most of my life, and this is the first time I've ever seen those license plates. Do you know what this is? You lived in Maryland.
I don't know.
You've never seen this before?
No.
All right, this is one of the greatest stories in the history of license plates.
Oh my God, it must be a decent story.
15 years ago, it became a thing for states to come out with retro versions of their license plates. And actually, California, as in so many things, California was one of the real trend leaders in this with the black plate, which has been on sale for a long time and it has inspired almost every other state now to create a black plate of its own. And I know there will be persnickety people who say other states had black plates first. Not really. California really. Pennsylvania had the Dare plates, but they long ago went away, and they're only beloved by. Anyway, the point is, there's been a history. There's now become this thing of retro license plates. Okay, so Maryland's very first license plate and by the way, another state that really leans into its license plate culture is Delaware. And so in 2009, Delaware came out with the Centennial Plate. Okay, where they celebrated 100 years of the license plate. And you can Google this. You could get just type in Delaware Centennial Plate. Yeah, Delaware Centennial license plate right there. And so for 1 year they offered this.
Oh,
and on the bottom it literally said Centennial Plate. It was very stupid, obviously.
Very literal.
Really stupid.
You see those around.
Okay, so not to be outdone, Delaware's next door state neighbor, Maryland, decides the following year they're going to come out with a Centennial Plate. But the problem is Maryland is Maryland. And so what they do is they take their original license plate, which came out in 1910, and it was yellow, and they just make a yellow version of their existing license plate and write 1910 vintage at the bottom. And then they start it all with VR. And as you can see by this one, no one actually got this license plate. This is number 67. I've never seen a number higher than 100. It was only offered for 1 year. Thank God.
I like it.
and then it went away.
Especially given what the other standard Maryland plate now looks like.
You don't like the regular Maryland license plate with the flag on the bottom? It's very popular within Maryland. People love their flag.
The people of Maryland love their flag.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's one of the most hideous flags I've ever seen.
Well, regardless, that's the story of this. It is a retro license plate to commemorate the original 1910 Maryland license plate, but it was done horribly, like so many things are in Maryland. No offense, of course, to our many viewers in the old line.
I will say, I lived in Maryland. I lived in Baltimore for 3 years, and luckily I moved there before the new license plate came out, so I still had the old one, the War of 1812 one.
Oh, the War of 1812 one. Because, the OGs had the black and white one.
I wasn't OG.
You weren't OG.
Moved there in 2016.
All right, you can pull that thing graphic back up. We'll move on to the next question. Next question from Brand VNC. How often do you guys get cars with reserves that just make no sense and they'll never meet? Are any brand/car owners more guilty of it than others? People submit cars every single day with reserves that are ridiculous.
Yep.
We don't generally run auctions with those. Like, we will try to talk the person down. We will try to talk the person out of their ridiculous reserve.
Show them comps.
Show them comps. We will explain.
Yeah.
If we cannot get the person to a reasonable number, we won't run it's not worth our time because we pay people to write our listings. Yeah. So every time you see a car listed on the site, it has cost money for our business. And so, we're not going to run a C5 with an $80,000 reserve just to have another car on the site.
There are times when we just don't know. There are some cars where it's like, that Golf Blue E63 is a good example. There's no other special color E63 AMG wagons in existence.
Yeah.
We were the only people to have auction one, period. So there you might take a risk. You don't really know.
Yeah, and so reserves that make no sense, sometimes we'll run a car with a reserve that's crazy if it's a crazy car and we have no idea what it's going to do. We'd rather run it and try.
Yeah.
But it's only worth it if it's going to be a really crazy car that people are going to get excited about, click on, etc., that might bring us some attention. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for us to just run a stupid car. And the question is, are there any brand/owners that are more guilty of it? For the first 2.5 years of Cars and Bids, I did basically all the reserve setting myself. And I remember at the time there were, but it's been now 2.5 years since then.
There's crazy people in every
crazy people in every brand.
It is who you expect generally. There are a lot of Corvette people who...
No, they're reasonable.
They're Porsche people who were...
I don't remember Corvette people being a big problem.
No, they're not that bad.
I remember it just sort of generally. I do find that modded American cars do often, the people don't really understand. It's like the first sports car they had that they modded. They don't get why the mods don't have the value. I think that happens sometimes.
Someone through a proxy asked me what the E39 M5 was worth. It was red and had a red interior, but also had a red painted plenum and had mods and 180,000 miles.
Can you imagine?
Do you think it's worth? They wanted to know if it was worth almost 50 grand. I'm like, no. But it's like you might think that, but it's like if you look at the comp. The other thing is using classic.com or using our site and going through, you can kind of see where stuff falls and get a good idea.
I think there's less of an issue with this than there used to be.
I think so. It's stuff is more defined and there's good information out there to make a. So we are armed with good information. We're not trying to rip people off or anything. It's here's realistically what your car is worth.
We have an entire team that is dedicated to looking at market values and advising. And their goal is not, let's give you the lowest reserve number possible. Their goal is, here are a bunch of, we are experts in this. Our literal jobs is to look at all the data. Here's what we think it's worth.
Yeah.
And then we can have a conversation.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, it does happen.
Oh, man, does it happen.
Yes.
But they usually don't see the site.
Yeah.
Next question from Aiden Wiesel. Question for Kennan and Filippo. Doug has already made a video on the worst cars he has ever owned. What are the worst cars you guys have ever bought?
I once bought a Kia Spectra for $1. Not a good car.
That was definitely
but it was
the worst car.
worth $1 at least.
It's a good story. You should tell that story a little more.
Edmonds thought it was worth -37, but I swear it was worth $1 at least. I haven't bought that many bad cars. I had an NB Miata that was a tough one. My Fiat is a little tougher now. But I never bought a really, really bad car.
You never bought a great one, no?
I'm trying to think. I've owned mostly BMWs, but my E46 330 Xi was very rusty, so much so I got to work one day and the part of the rear wheel arch had just flaked off.
What
it was
safe
just gone.
vehicle.
It is worth pointing out, though, that Kennan and Filippo, between them, have not owned that many cars.
No.
We're very cautious.
Unlike some of the other folks, like Nick, if he came on here, he'd probably have better answers. He's had 20 cars, probably. But
right, but I commit. I buy.
You guys, you probably had 4 cars. 5,
I think. So
and it's probably about the same with you, right?
So I've had 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
Yeah, like 5.
Gotta count.
Not that many.
I don't know why he's saying 7, 8, 9, 10.
I gotta count. I don't remember.
So he's got 3 of them right now, I guess. But before that, it was
Right.
only
I
a
own
few.
3 cars right now.
Okay,
Keep
next.
that in mind.
Yeah, you got to sell it Fiat. Next
Gotta
question
know.
from CT Hump 71. Question for Doug. Saw a video on social media where it spotted you in your Countach, and as you stepped out, you weren't wearing shoes. Why do you do this? Oh my God. I've gotten this question now so many times that it's difficult for me to live. I replied to that video, and I replied like 4 hours after it was posted, and it was just not enough. And the video had gotten seen zillions of times. I've now been asked this question 4 separate times since that video went up, even though I replied. I also, when I first announced the Countach, I talked about it in that video.
Yep.
I've talked about it on social media in a bunch of different places. But here we are still replying. The answer is
One last time.
no, it's not going to be the last time. I guarantee a year from now, there will be a new crop of people who come up, and I'd be some other video of me getting in the Countach with no shoes
Send
on.
him a link.
This is your DeLorean thing. This is it annoys you about why you don't have any shoes on.
Oh man, I had a guy walk up to me yesterday, asked me about it. I was like, borderline rude. I was like, look at the comments. My feet are too big to fit in the pedal box. The pedal box of these cars is tight. It's a tube frame. Some of the tubes must go right under there. Pedal box is really tight, and so I can't wear shoes and drive the car. At least my shoe size, which is 14. And so if I try to do that, I will press the accelerator and the brake at the same time. I'll press the brake and the clutch at the same time. It can't be done for me. So I wear the car bare feet, which honestly is I drive the car bare feet, which honestly is fine. Like I don't find it to be difficult at all.
Yeah.
Actually,
People were like, "Oh my God, he got out and then he stepped in the dirt." It's like
If you're the owner of
don't
a
participate in
driving
that.
shoe company, maybe reach out. Maybe Doug will accept a sponsorship.
I don't think the driving shoes would really help. I think that
it's so narrow.
if you could get something really that perfectly fits my foot, but even without shoes, it's
tight.
kind of tight in there.
Right. I mean, I wear 10.5s, and even so, like I moved the car on and off the transporter, and I took my shoes off because I can't. Same thing. I can't. It is really tight in there, even for normal sized humans. It is a really. It's just
And I'll tell you
it was
something.
designed first and engineered second.
I'll tell you something. Sitting in bumper to bumper with no shoes on,
Hard because that pedal is digging right into your foot. Yeah.
right in your foot, and the clutch is heavy, and like I would get into situations where like we're at a stoplight and like 8 cars get through, and I would just sit. And like, I'm going to sit 9 car lengths back and just like when the light turns green, then I'll go. But like, I cannot continue to move up 3 cars at a time. It got hard. But you have to do it that way. There's no other option. So that's the answer to that. And with regards to one time someone tagged me in a post and was like, he got in to preserve the leather with no shoes on.
No.
Absolutely.
No, I like use the car. We took the car down a dirt road. I probably did a mile of dirt road driving in the car. I don't participate in preservation. I participated in
But of course, it won the Chuck Spielman Preservation Award.
Ironically. Okay, next question from Boost Bear 720. Do you think the Jaguar F-Type will ever become a takeover vehicle like the G35, G37?
Interesting.
What are some cars that you see coming takeover vehicles in the future? No, I don't. I'll tell you why. To me, the takeover vehicles, there's 2, really. It's the Charger Challenger and it's the G35, G37.
No.
And like the Z, Nissan Z.
The last generation M4.
Camaros, too.
The last generation M4 is that.
Dude, when I watch takeover videos, which is all the time, seriously, I don't see M4s there.
They're around.
You probably watch high-end takeovers like I do.
Right.
I'm like,
Filippo watches the Beverly Hills takeover.
yeah, like
Yeah,
I'm like
also
St.
M4s.
Louis, Baltimore, legit
M4s are getting
takeovers.
cheap legitimately, and I think that those are the next ones.
My view is that the reason that the certain cars get big in takeovers is because they are cheap speed, and I think the F-Type doesn't quite have as much power as it needs,
No, but
and I
it
think
is
it will
cheap.
never become cheap enough.
I don't know about that.
With a rear-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive V8 ones.
Yeah.
And
Ours
yet,
are hard.
when they finally do become that cheap, they're not going to be cheap in the sense that
There's
they're
also
cheap to own. Whereas a
not enough for them.
G37,
Yeah.
you can buy one for $6, put no money into it, swing it around a few times, bump into a Grand Marquis and a couple of people who are filming, and drive off.
Yeah. yeah.
And that's what Harry
And
Metcalf
part-
was hoping to see. And
Parts are available for when to repair.
If you want to repair.
Yeah.
Like you see a G with a bumper off, that car was in a takeover accident. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I saw a G35 coupe the other day in front of me.
Yeah, nice.
Driven by an 80-year-old.
Well, thank you for that tidbit. What's the next question?
I was on the road today, and I saw
It was by your house.
a
That's unfortunate.
Panamera right?
Congratulations.
And I'm in the Carrera GT, and I'm like, all right. And it was a first-gen Panamera, you know, the big boy. And I pull up next to it, and it is the oldest woman I have ever seen in my life, driving with her handicap placard on the...
Of course.
And she's sitting on, like, all sorts of stuff to get her, like, up in the...
Yeah.
Okay, last two questions.
Should have gotten the carbon buckets.
From Corvette Guy 10. Yeah, she should have. She had PTS placard. Question for Filippo. With the ZR1X and now the new CX concepts, what do you think the future of the Corvette will look like? Filippo is a Corvette man. I believe this question is for you.
Yep.
Corvette has always been fast, affordable American sports car, but do you now think they will go EV or more expensive?
So Chevrolet revealed a CX concept, which you could interpret to mean C10 or just C something, right? Mm-hmm. I don't expect the next generation or two generations to be notably distinct from what they're doing right now. Mid-engine was new for C8. I expect they'll continue with that. I expect they'll continue with gas. But Corvette has always been about what is the best way for us to compete with European supercars in a more affordable way. Not really a cheap way, but a more affordable way. And I don't know how you do that 10, 15 years from now without going electric. I think like if your goal is how do we compete on performance, you will have to go hybrid and or electric, and they're already going hybrid. So yes, I think they'll go hybrid, and I think they'll kind of keep adapting to whatever.
Will it get more expensive?
Inflation-adjusted Corvette prices are down.
I agree. I don't think it'll get more expensive. No. People now lament how expensive it is, but if you adjust for inflation, it costs the same as the C4, same as the C5.
So I don't expect that.
I don't expect it to get more expensive.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't at some point electric or heavily hybrid with some electric top-end ones. I mean,
you could look at it that way, that maybe the way they go to they compete with the European manufacturers offer more of an experience with a gasoline engine. There are things that...
But they've never been about the experience. They've always been about sheer performance.
But things are going to change. Like the experience of a sports car and what you want versus the performance of a sports car. I mean, Mate Rimac kind of proved that.
Yeah. He's still, but
nonetheless, I agree that hybridization is just
of course. But I do... It would be interesting to see how they permutate things going forward, especially for American consumers that want V8.
Also, how do you follow up on the C8?
How do you? I mean, it is so good, and the cars they're coming out with now are...
Could make it attractive, I guess, but that's hard.
You say make it attractive?
The C8 suffers from the trunk space issue.
Yeah. But
if it didn't have the required trunk space issue, it would look better. Yeah. However, I still think
it looks bad, to be clear.
I still think the C8 is the best looking Corvette aside from this, or is the best Corvette aside from the C2. The best Corvette, not best looking.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Kennan and I are C3 guys in terms of looks.
I think the C3 and C7 are the best looking Corvettes.
I'm a C2.
I will say, here's what they're going to do to replace
not
C8.
That order.
Here's what they're going to do. C5, C6, and C7 were all kind of derivatives of each other.
Yeah.
That's what they'll do with C8. C8, C9, and C10 are going to look pretty similar.
I think they've already shown that they're willing to have production runs go longer. Where we're 5 years into it and just had the mid-cycle refresh. The C7 went from 2014 to 2019, so that entire run was 5 years. We've had 5 years to C8. I think
C7 had a short run, but yeah.
I think they'll stretch it out.
Yeah, but
and then
C4,
C9, I think, will be equivalent to C8. I mean, better, improved, but like same structure. C10, who knows?
Okay, last question from B-Man Good. Hey, Doug, what is your favorite generation of WRX, and what is your favorite rally-inspired street car? I don't know about favorite rally-inspired street car. Evo, Delta Integrale Evo, followed by the regular Evo.
However, the R5 Turbo.
No. Delta Integrale or Evo 6, one of the two.
Really?
Yeah, no, not the R5 Turbo.
Really?
However, what is your favorite generation WRX? Now, there's a question.
Man.
We're
going to get the hottest take of the day. I know where
you want
to
rank the WRXs for you?
No. Just
let's rank them.
Just go for favorite.
Let's rank them.
Just go for favorite.
We all agree the worst WRX. Let me pull up the list.
Yeah, we need a list of WRXs.
The worst WRX was the third gen.
So the
the worst.
No.
There's a lot of good WRXs.
Is that the
let me think about this.
There's five WRXs. Okay,
but that has the second best hatch.
Yes, the hatch. So that's the hard part about the third gen.
Right.
The best hatch was the third gen.
The second gen was kind of a wagon, and that has.
But they didn't do an STI.
We didn't say STI. We did not say STI.
Oh, it's part of it.
We did not say STI.
The third gen hatch looks so good.
The third gen hatch is a great looking auto.
I think the third gen hatch is ugly, but it was a fantastically good car, and it was very special. And
STI or WRX? What are we ranking here?
Both, because it's part of it.
No, the current gen doesn't have an STI. What do you do?
Well, it's just part of it. It's just you say WRX, you think about the STI, you think about the Type RA, you think about the 22B. It's all part of it.
Not 2022, you don't.
You're gonna say the new one is your favorite.
Yeah, that's what I was ready for. But now that he's saying STIs are required,
Third gen is the worst. Third gen is the worst. And I say that with,
I don't know, do you
with
remember
a
the first
heavy
gen?
heart because I love the third gen STI hatch. The third gen STI, here's a hot take for you. The third gen STI hatch might be my favorite WRX, but the generation of overall WRX is bad. A regular non-STI third gen WRX sedan is a tough car.
What about first gen? I'm not a huge first gen guy.
The 92 to 02?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Well 92 to
That's
2000.
seminal. It changed the world. That car changed the world. That might be my number one. Oh, to this day, when I see a clean, pull up a clean early.
Second gen changed the world.
To this day, when I see a clean early WRX on cars and bids,
Second, you can use the year filter.
when I see a clean early, so like
Up to 2000.
up to like
No, you can start at
right.
1900. It's okay. But
Yeah, but it's gonna give me all the Evo 6s and everything before.
that's fine. 2000. Yeah, there you go. What? Oh.
yeah, sure. If you had
come
the
on.
really nicest version, the
This
WRX.
was bid to 20, dude. This is a 20 car. I thought about buying this car.
That's what the market feels
This
about the first gen WRX.
Is such, but it's seminal. It's such
I
a
think
special car.
The second gen is a little bit more seminal.
The second gen it was very special for the U.S. market.
For the US market,
because-
which is where I'm sorry, where do we live?
I know, but now these are here. Look at this one. Oh, $7,000.
Right, the
for
market
a nice
doesn't
RS.
think they're interesting or notable or cool. I agree that they're cool.
I grew up with this car. I mean,
that's
we
what
didn't
this
have
is.
one, but when I grew up in Denver,
They don't know how to color
this was the coolest car you could imagine. Yeah, this dude's in Colorado, and he blacked out. He blocked out
The
one of
U
the letters.
sometimes.
Okay, go back to the thing. All
right, so
third
think-
gen's the worst.
Second gen best.
Wow.
Second gen best. Second gen best.
Wow.
Don't you
Second
think?
gen best?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
You agree
This
it's the
one
best
might
part
be
of this.
too hard to rank.
You agree with me.
There are 3 generations that I want to rank as the best.
The second gen, the first gen,
the second
current.
gen, the first gen, and the new one.
Yeah,
and
I
I
agree.
gotta tell you, the previous body, the one that just ended, the 2014
Yeah.
through
Forever.
21, that's like right behind them.
Yeah. They're all good.
I love that car.
The VA.
The VA. I love that car. I like the new one a little better, but the VA had an STI.
Yeah, but if the STI and VA was a little
If we're comparing
much.
WRX to WRX, I like the new one more than the VA.
Yeah, the new one has grown on me a surprising amount.
It also just drives fantastically. It's phenomenal how it drives.
But second gen. Second gen's the top. We can all agree.
Second gen changed the world.
It's changed the world.
Second gen changed the world. Like it showed up in the
2002
States and was like, Japan pulled their sports cars out of the US. Let me tell you something. In 97, 98, the Supra left, the RX-7 left, the 3000 GT left. We thought it was all over. We thought it was all done. And then Honda stuck around with the Integra for that era, like the late 90s, early 2000s, the Integra Type R. It was like the last gasp of the Japanese sports car, and the NSX, which wasn't selling.
Yep.
And then in 02, I never will forget when the 04 STI came out. I never will forget that. The STI was there, the Evo was there, the WRX was there, and there were rumors that there was going to be a GTR, a Skyline GTR at that time coming to the States. And it was like, oh my God, the Japanese sports car is back. This car changed the world. And in terms of like there's a generation who grew up
on this
with this
100%.
car and modding this car and
100%
learning about cars from this car.
Yeah.
This is when
And
I
crashing
think,
this
when
car.
I think
Crashing.
WRX. This is still what I think.
Yeah. I think of an 02 Bug-Eye.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
sure.
of-
I did. Yeah,
I think of
the
a
third
blue
gen.
Bug-Eye.
That was-
Pull up a nice blue Bug-Eye. When I was in high school, I can't tell you how much I wanted a nice.
Type in blood bug.
No, scroll down a little. You'll pull one up.
It's a nice
Look at
one.
these
Is
bug-
or they're good. Look at that 06. No, but like
No, I don't want a
You don't
hawk
want
and I don't want a blob.
You want
I want a bug.
You want a bug.
That one. Oh, there.
There
Yep,
you go.
this
That
one.
car,
Wow.
I wanted
What
this
a
car
deal that
more than
was.
any. I was rusty. I wanted this car more than any other car when
You
I
looked
was
at
in high
it.
school.
You remember?
Dude, I don't know. I was looking at it the other day. I was like, I maybe should have bought this thing.
What a good car, though. Well, without a wing is a wild look at this one, but-
227 horse. They were sold without a wing.
know.
That's OE.
I
There was
know.
like a premium package that included a wing as an option, and so some of them didn't have a wing. And the sedan was the way to go because the hatch didn't have the flared fenders. I don't know what your answer is. I can't do it. I can't rank the WRXs.
Kennan?
Well, you just can't do it. It
If
is hard.
If you say
They're all they're very
worst
good.
is third,
I
if you say that this was
excluding the
best,
wagon.
you're
I'll
excluding
give you worst
the
third.
Newie and the firstie. The firstie.
The first one doesn't do anything for me.
Oh, it's so seminal.
The first one is like an early Lancer Evo. Like, you know it existed, but they're all kind of the same.
No, there's some with big wings.
Yeah, that's true of an Evo 3 too. Somehow there's
Really?
13 trillion Evo numbers, but
and it's a shame I can't. That's my favorite. I mean, that's my favorite.
you drove one and did not enjoy it.
Okay,
Right. But
we gotta
it's
finish
still
this.
my
We gotta
favorite.
finish this.
So it goes.
The third is the worst. The best is a four-way tie between the first, second, fourth, and fifth.
Can we just make it a 5-way tie?
No,
right.
the third deserves to be shamed. Although the third has that hatchback, which is the best of it all.
hatchback. Yeah, I agree.
So what do you do? What do you do?
Buy one of each.
I
Become a
do like
collector.
the fourth less than the new.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But the fourth had the S209.
That was a special car. But it never did anything for me specifically.
You don't know cars.
One of my neighbors, there's a little side story. So somebody in my neighborhood has a WRX STI, blue.
Full body.
VA. Last gen. And then her significant other, they have a couple kids, has a Prius, a blue
yes.
Prius. And I find that fascinating. Because how do you as a family have a Prius and then a late model VA WRX
Because
STI?
she wants to drive a cool car and he doesn't care.
I know, I get that. But like,
That's how.
I want to have two cool cars, and I will make my significant other drive a cooler
Okay.
car.
Second gen first.
Thank you.
Then new.
I need him to get time to get there.
Then fourth. Then first. Then third.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone. It's the greatest podcast we've ever done.
Ridiculous.
Kennan, any parting thoughts?
No, I like the WRX is great. I don't really have anything to add.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.